Natasha. I'm the COO of the ISA. We are so excited to be back in person here at Sundance and to welcome you into the ISA's table read event. Tonight we are celebrating Lindsey Galloway and her script, The Last Queen's Painter. Lindsey won the Table Read My Screenplay competition, and so voila, you have a screenplay, well, you have a table read, I should say. Lindsey, it's been a true pleasure working with you. I want to thank you for sharing your words with us, for letting us play with them, for letting us put them up here for everybody to see. I've loved getting to know you, and I'm so excited to see this on the big screen. It's not very often that you find a script that you can read over and over and then you can watch over and over, and after 10 or 12 times you still laugh and you still cry. And this is one of those scripts. And so I hope you all experience that same way. I believe it to be very powerful, so thank you. And Lindsey's words are being brought to life tonight by this incredibly talented cast behind me. Thank you all so much. You all really dove, I want to look at you at the same time. You all really dove into these roles and head first and took them as your own, brought them to life, fully fleshed out characters that we all root for, that we all care about. Thank you. Your time, your commitment, your energy, it was a gift. And they were all fantastically led by our amazing director, Ria Pavia. I've told you, but I'm going to tell everyone else how fantastic you are. Truly incredibly talented. You had such wonderful insight. You are so giving and kind, and I loved being a part of this with you. Thank you for sharing with us. The event tonight was not just about 2 weeks of rehearsing and bringing it to life. It didn't just start with that process. It started almost a year ago, and probably much longer for you, Lindsey, when she submitted to the competition. And from there, reading through over 2,000 screenplays to find that diamond in the rough to bring it here to you tonight. And so I want to thank my entire ISA team, because everybody took a part in what you're about to see tonight. And I'm going to read it, because if I don't, I'm going to forget somebody, because that's my brain. I'm going to thank Caitlin, Diane, Danielle, Sean, Jordan, Shayna, who did a lot of behind-the-scenes work, Jeffrey, who leads our reading staff and took this script and pulled it up to the front and helped us choose it, and then Max, and tonight Scott behind the camera, Craig also behind a camera, who you might have met at the door. He's our founder. Reggie, who you probably met at the door. Felicity, who is our narrator tonight.
Hi.
This team of ISA is very dedicated to screenwriters and helping make the ISA vision and mission of helping screenwriters come to fruition. So thank you all. Okay, and I'm going to thank our sponsors, The Wrap, Screen Right Now, Creators Vault, Script Studio, and Liz Sweeney dun, 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 for the poster, and Adriana Sissoni, close, for her help with casting. Sorry, Adriana. And thank you to Lisa, Carol, and the whole staff here at Music Lodge for this fantastic venue. And thank you all, because being here is actually a great service to Lindsey. A table read is really important for a writer to hear what's working, figure out where different things can be tweaked, and it's gravy on top to actually have an audience that she can hear respond or not, and then know what to go back to and rework or not. So thank you for being here. Okay, so one quick note. This is a feature script. We are not going to be here for an hour and 20 minutes. We've cut it in half. So it's not the first half, it's not the back half, it's just half. And in between, there are scenes that have been cut out. And Felicity will take you through those scenes with a summary so that you're not in the dark. Lindsey did a fantastic job cutting it all together. So it's still a great story from start to finish. Before we get started, I'd love to hear from you, Lindsey, and then Ria.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me to see these words be performed by this incredible cast. I'm the screenwriter of The Last Queen's Painter, which all started with a portrait of Elizabeth Vigée Lebrun, Lisette, in a straw hat. I saw this woman, this beautiful, focused woman holding a palette, and I was mesmerized instantly. I knew nothing about her, but I knew I had to go read everything about her, the wiki hole, you know how it goes. So I read her memoirs, and she was just such a fabulous, interesting woman. And turns out she painted Marie Antoinette. Every painting you've ever seen of Marie Antoinette is probably by Lisette. So I knew I had to share her story. I hope you love it as much as I do. I want to thank this wonderful cast for really diving into all the characters so deeply in a short amount of time. Ria, our fabulous director, I learned so much just watching you work and play. It was fabulous. And the ISA, Molly, for giving me this opportunity. It's really the chance of a lifetime, and you're all so kind, and thank you so much.
Hello, I am Ria Pavia, the director, and I would like to say that if I saw that same picture that you saw with the straw and all that, I wouldn't be interested, and that's my baggage. I just want to say that I just have this, like blank, when I see anything to do with history, I'm not proud of it. It was my least favorite subject, but it's just not interesting to me in general. However, when I read the first probably 3/4 of a page of this screenplay, I was mesmerized, to use your word, as well, and just brought in, and suddenly I did care, and I cared about each one of these characters deeply, like, maybe even codependent a little bit, but where's the neurotic girl? So thank you for your delicious words. And thank you to the ISA, which I mistakenly called ISA, and they're like, don't say that. It sounds like ISIS. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm so sorry. I'm like, whatever. So thank you for you all trusting me. Thanks, Belle. There's my earring, that's good news. So Molly, Craig, Lindsey, Reggie, and Scott, thank you for also letting me crash your condo for 3 months. When my lodging went away, and to this stellar cast who are just freaking magnificent, each one of you. You'll see in moments. And yes, Lindsey, we decided we're Marie and Lisette, sort of. I don't really know who's who. I think we have a little bit of a mixture. So we'll stop yakking. Enjoy.
We're going to start with the actors introducing themselves, and they're going to tell you who they're going to play, and then I will begin. So please.
I'm Sally Brooks. I'm reading Jean and other roles.
I'm Tito Olivas, and I am reading Jay.
Jean-Marie Etienne.
Marcelo Toubert, Vernet, and a couple of other roles.
Emma Scottson, Elizabeth Vigée Lebrun, also known as Lisette.
I'm Madeline D, and I'm playing Marie Antoinette.
I'm Alana Hollander, and I'm playing Lanny and other roles.
Hello everyone, I'm Boris Etienne, reading the role of Dre.
I'm Tyler Tipton, I'm reading for Gael and other roles.
I'm Marion, and I'm Rosie.
I'm Felicity Wren, and I'm the narrator. The Last Queen's Painter by Lindsey Galloway. You know the story of Marie Antoinette. You know how it ends. A revolt, a guillotine. But once she was a young woman, a new queen, looking to create her image, trying painter after painter. Interior, Versailles, Queen's private chambers. In voiceover we hear,
They say the pen is mightier than the sword. But in my time, a paintbrush collapsed a kingdom.
Posed on a chair sits Marie Antoinette, 21, acting younger than her age, bored out of her mind. We see painter Andre Daguerty, the picture of male mediocrity.
Voila! I am finished, Your Highness.
Relieved, Marie breaks her pose and circles to the portrait. Her relief returns to disappointment. Another failure.
Beautiful, as always.
She ushers him out of the room. Marie looks to her friend, the Duchess Yolande de Polignac, Lanny. Mid-20s, famously gorgeous, aloof.
I can't send this to Mother.
What does she care? Well, she has taste. This doesn't even look like me, Lanny.
We meet Rosalie Bouquet, her lady-in-waiting.
The eyes were
Hideous. I need another. Mother will be furious if she doesn't have one before Christmas.
Marie, you've tried all the Louvre's artists.
Oh, these men know nothing of beauty or charm.
I may know someone.
Bring him.
Interior art studio day. A painting of a young girl, 5, a delicate hand adding details to the lips. In the small, messy studio, Elizabeth Virgile-Lebrun, Lisette, 21, wears a paint-covered muslin dress and holds the thin brush, intently making final details until a young mother stands uncomfortably over her shoulder.
Her lips are too thin. Make them bigger.
Lisette pulls back the brush. The young girl posed on the stool starts crying. Joseph Vernet, distinguished, mid-60s, paint-stained hands, swoops in and picks up the young girl, who calms as he hands her gently to the annoyed mother.
Looks like we've had enough for today. See you next week.
The mother huffs, pulling her daughter, leaving the studio.
I don't need another session.
You heard the client.
She wants me to paint something that's not there.
Learn to see what they want to see.
Lisette replaces the child painting with a grand ethereal painting of a draped nude woman holding a pen.
When I'm in the academy, I won't need clients. I'll paint the gods.
You'll never step foot in the academy if you keep applying as a history painter. Apply as a portraitist. It's the highest honor available for women.
I won't study the male form if they're so goddamn concerned.
Language, Lisette. You have to at least appear ladylike to impress the director.
She adds detail to the pale pink breast of the painting.
My work speaks for itself.
You will always need those who can speak on your behalf, especially if you cannot.
Interior, Lebrun apartment night. Lugging her supplies, Lisette enters her modest apartment. Despite its petite size, every wall is covered in paintings by Flemish masters, Vermeer, Rubens, Rembrandt. She sees a letter with her name on it on the entry console. The letterhead bears the elegant calligraphy of the prestigious Académie Royale de Peinture et de Sculpture. The note reads, "Dear Madame Lebrun, it is with regret." She rolls her eyes and scans the rest.
Bullshit!
A well-dressed man enters. Jean-Baptiste Pierre Lebrun, J, sees her and makes a drink. A double.
You're home early. In a fine mood.
Any artist affiliated with commerce degrades the practice of art. Due to your husband's profession, we cannot and will not make exceptions.
I'm an art dealer. Who cares? You know why they won't admit you. You're the most sought-after portraitist in Paris.
Not for anyone who matters. This is the only way my work will get respect.
It's a boys' club. It always has been. It always will be. You don't need them.
He makes a motion to cheers her with his drink. She ignores him. He wanders to his desk to examine his business ledgers. She rips the letter in half. Interior Lebrun dining room day. A modest table seats 4 eating breakfast. Lisette's younger brother, Etienne Vigie, reads from the news pamphlet, gesturing broadly.
Whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to abolish it.
Ridiculous. A country without a king cannot stand.
The Americans are different, Etienne. They live thousands of miles away from their king.
Former king. It's unnatural to be ruled by others. We too should be self-governed.
Must we speak of politics?
Politics is all there is. People are starving in the streets while the Queen throws stupid parties.
There's a knock at the door.
I'll get it. I need to work anyway.
Interior Lebrun entrance continuous. Lisette opens the door to Rosalie in an expensive dress.
Hello, friend.
Rosalie.
I need a favor.
I haven't seen you since you moved uptown.
What?
Exterior, Jardin du Tuileries day. Rosalie and Lisette stroll together, carrying parasols under a tree-covered path. Looking mismatched, Rosalie with her court dress and Lisette in a simple flowing muslin.
Miss slumming it with us poor Parisians.
I hate that place, but it pays the bills.
You didn't have to marry a dime pound for that. You could have painted. Renee thought you were better than me.
I was, but I could never keep up with you. How's business?
The same. Picky nobles, desperate debutantes.
Sounds like Versailles. How are your muses?
Never enough time between Mother and Jay's obsession with Dutch art. I can only afford to do paying work, mind-numbingly boring work.
What's marrying again?
He did let me borrow his collection to copy. Living in the same house was easier, or so I thought, at 19.
I may be able to help. I have a commission.
Another obsessive lady in waiting.
This isn't any portrait, but you cannot mess this up. It's for the queen.
Did she ask for me?
No. No one at court knows who you are. Lucky for you, I do.
Why me?
You can't be any worse than the men she's tried. The purse will pay for your studio for a year. You can work on your other pieces. Okay, come to Versailles. Saturday at 10. Don't be late. What did I get into?
Interior, carriage day. Lisette looks out the window, squinting at the sun anxiously. Versailles comes into view, stately, bigger than life. Exterior Versailles moments later, the carriage stops. Lisette bolts out the side door, grabbing her brushes, hurtling towards the palace. Her white dress, covered in a rainbow of paint stains, draws disdain from the valet.
May I help you, madam?
I'm here for the queen. For the portraiture.
Ah, yes. But this well past that appointment time, you have to reschedule.
Another appointment ran over.
Versailles has a strict schedule. The queen has already gone riding.
Lisette sinks. She scans the hundreds of people wandering the grounds. She spots Rosalie and waves her down.
Thank you for receiving my friend. Okay. What took you so long? What happened to your dress?
I got caught up.
You
in
have to
painting.
learn the rules.
Interior, Versailles, foyer, day. The elaborate palace is covered with paintings, mirrors, chandeliers. Lisette stops, awed. Rosalie pulls her on. Interior, Queen's sitting room, day. Lisette has changed into one of Rosalie's dresses, but it's like being stuffed into a sausage casing with ruffles.
I can't move in this thing. How am I supposed to paint?
If you want to paint at all, shut up and make it look easy.
The servants open their door and the Queen appears in her riding gear, flanked by Lanny.
Your Majesty.
You are? This is Elizabeth Vergier Lebrun, the painter.
The one that was supposed to arrive 2 hours ago?
Now, Lanny, timelines bore me. Made up rules for made up people.
I do apologize for my friend, but trust me, her work is
I must confess, I've never been painted by a woman before. What makes you different?
Men paint us as girls, as children. They don't imagine us capable of much, and that appears in their art. I see it differently.
What do you see?
I see a leader, a royal daughter, a graceful queen. Power. prestige, strength. The future mother of France. More than a mother. A goddess.
Not in this outfit. One moment, Madame Lebrun. I'll change.
The Queen disappears to her fitting room, with Lanny trailing behind her, staring down the newcomer with subtle rage. Interior Versailles sitting room day. Marie poses in a ruffled silver dress twice as wide as she is tall, including her feather-adorned sky-high hair. Lisette works on the life-size canvas, sketching in paint.
How do you wear this day in and day out? I can hardly breathe.
They insist on such formality in this court. One hair out of place and it's a crime against the nation. Not like home.
Don't move.
Unsure if Marie liked the portrait, Lisette returns unceremoniously home, where life isn't nearly as grand. Interior Paris bakery day. Lisette wanders into a bakery where Etienne sweeps the floors. Baker, Gale, wipes flour off his apron and rolls dough.
My brother giving you trouble?
Always coming in with some pamphlet or another telling me about the outrage of taxation or some such as if I didn't know.
Come to the meetings. We discuss new ideas at the hall.
How about you stick to this subject and you keep sweeping?
Can I get 2 loaves, please?
3 sous.
With Etienne's wages?
Afraid so. With the cost of grain and labor, it's...
Just 1 then.
There is a better way if we work together, okay?
I don't see much work out of you!
Mother wants to know if you'll be home for dinner.
Tend to the fire in the back, and you can go, but leave those papers at home.
I'll leave them right here in case you change your mind. Tuesdays at the hall.
Lisette receives a letter. Marie is thrilled with the portrait. It finally looks like her. As appreciation, she invites Lisette to a grand ball at Versailles, where she meets the charming Dre, a count. Interior Versailles ballroom night. Lisette leans on the balcony, staring over the gardens and up at the moonlight. Dre walks out the grand doors.
An artist or a work of art herself?
In this? Hardly.
It is not the clothes that make the woman, just as it is not the oil paints that make the artist.
You're an art lover?
I'm a collector of sorts.
Of what?
Poetry, art, friends.
Women.
The most beautiful collection of all. How long have you been painting?
As far back as I can remember, my father would always tell me I'd grow up to be a painter.
Ah, then your father must be very proud. My mother died when I was young too. It's an impossible job trying to please dead parents. Good night, Lisette. I suspect we will meet again soon.
The Queen invites Lisette to stay at Versailles to help mould her image and keep up the goodwill of the people, and perhaps to have a friend close by. Interior Lebrun residence day. Lisette flitters about the apartment, collecting things to add to her luggage. Jeanne and Etienne read in the study. Jay sits at his desk.
You shouldn't go.
You do have responsibilities here, Lisette, to your husband, to your household, which should have been growing by now.
I'll be the Queen's painter. Isn't that enough?
Time waits for no woman, not even the Queen.
Why should it? They live in palaces while we suffer.
He's right. At least these people aren't like you. All they do is gamble fucking lie.
Sounds like fun for a change.
We've got barely anything to eat, and the Queen devours cake by the carriage load.
I hear she has a lover. A woman. Well, which would explain why we still have no daughter.
She's not who the press makes her out to be.
I know enough.
You sound like the other newspaper scribblers. Easier to talk than do.
Yeah, I'd rather do nothing than sell my talent out to the crown.
You're doing a fine job of that. I'll have more power to change things there than I have here.
There's a difference between power and justice.
I haven't seen one.
You'll never be one of them. No matter what you do.
Who said I wanted to be?
Lisette shuts the top of her trunk and looks to the door. Exterior Petit Trianon day. The misty day obscures the hedges, fountains, and grand trees of Versailles. Lisette walks through the vast gardens, searching for the Queen's new chateau. Ducks quack by a nearby pond, and servants dressed as medieval peasants garden in a nearby field. Another group of servants wheel an extravagant dessert platter, colourful macaroons, and an intricately frosted cake to a mansion bordered by wildflowers. Not a carriage full, but Lisette sees it painted with her brother's words and shifts uncomfortably. Interior Petit Trianon entry moments later. Following the servants, Lisette enters the mini mansion and runs into Lanny wearing a pared-down dress made of flowing chemise and no jewellery. It still looks expensive.
Oh, it's you. Can only afford the one dress? After all the business we've brought you?
I don't recall you bringing me any business, Your Grace.
I'll have you paint me someday. The Queen's ladies do rave about how beautiful you make them. Especially the ugly ones.
It's easy if you bring out the beauty within.
Easier when the beauty's without.
Interior Petit Trianon salon day. Lanny opens the door to the salon where Marie Antoinette lounges on a pink chaise, sipping an aperitif in a tiny cup. She too wears the breezy outfit, loose and flowy, no corset.
Lisette, Your Majesty.
Please, only in Versailles am I queen. Here, I am myself. Call me Toinette, like my sisters did.
Don't you love it?
She gestures to the room. It's smaller, but as finely decorated as her Versailles palace quarters.
It's certainly charming.
Not even the king is allowed without my permission.
Do you want to discuss the next portrait?
Oh, there'll be time for that later. Let me show you to your room.
My room?
Interior Petit Trianon bedroom day. The room is full of light, bigger than Lisette's whole apartment. An easel is already set up in the corner. Lisette examines the expensive bottled oil paints set up on a table, touching each one delicately.
This is too much. I couldn't possibly...
Nonsense. You must be comfortable to do your best work.
I don't know what to say.
Say nothing. Make yourself at home. Dinner's at 8, and I have more surprises.
Interior Petit Trianon dining room night. Marie leads her coven of ladies into the dining room, but they stop short when they realize the room has no table.
Not another picnic, Toinette.
A fully set dining room table emerges from the floor, complete with steaming food and a bouquet of sweets.
Magic. How do you manage it?
I had it built. That way we can dine and speak in peace. No spies.
Lanny grabs champagne from the table.
No servants either.
Lisette looks down below the dining table, trying to investigate the mechanics and looking for signs of anyone below.
Are they all right down there?
Of course. Now they can take the night off.
Lanny pops the champagne. The loud noise startles Lisette, who knocks her head on the table. The glassware precariously shakes. The women laugh as Lanny passes the bottle. Interior Petit Trianon salon night. Rosalie drunkenly plays the piano, while Marie dances on the top of it, singing off-key. Lisette, caught up in the moment, dances wildly too. Even Lanny lets her hair down, still holding the bottle. Interior Petit Trianon bedroom day. Lisette wakes up the next day on the rug in her room in the same clothes. She rubs her eyes and her head and moves to find Marie. Interior Petit Salon, Marie's bedroom day. Marie lies sprawled out on the gilded bed, hair everywhere, in her white chemise dress.
Toinette, we have to finish the next painting. The salon is in a week. We cannot miss the deadline.
I can't.
If we don't, you won't have any new paintings on display for a year. The court, the people will destroy you and me for it.
If I put on a soul-sucking corset, I will throw up.
Then don't. I'll paint you in this. As you are, as Toinette.
A simple woman like that?
Let's go, while we have the light.
Exterior, Petit Trianon Gardens Day. Lisette puts the finishing touches on her portrait in the peaceful gardens alone. Marie pictured in a loose outfit, straw hat in place of overdone hair. Lanny wanders into the garden. She inspects the portrait.
I admit you capture her well. But you cannot send this to the salon.
Why not?
She is a queen. She needs to be seen as one.
She will be. This is her in a different light, as art.
I know why she likes you. You both care nothing for rules.
I'm painting what she wants.
She shouldn't always get what she wants.
She's the queen, isn't she?
The queen is a function, a position, with expectations.
You can't even begin to understand.
I understand her.
That's the problem. You should be protecting her, like me.
She's not a child.
She was finally starting to learn, finally becoming a queen, before you showed up. You make her believe she has a freedom she doesn't have. She's not like you. She can never be.
She wants others to see her like I see her. I can do that.
Think of someone other than yourself for once. Don't send this.
Interior Salon Gallery Night. The finished portrait of Marie Antoinette en chemise hangs in the busy gallery. The Queen wears her hair down in a straw hat plumed with feathers and in a white gown tied with a gold bow holding a single pink rose. The crowd gathers around the stunning debut of this new look.
Disgusting.
Likes their horseshoes.
What was she thinking?
I like it.
The gallery owner demands the portrait be removed. Marie insists it has to be repainted, but Lisette refuses. Unwilling to compromise her vision, she leaves Versailles to return home. Interior Lebrun apartment day. Lisette opens the door to a naked woman, straddling a clearly drunk, half-clothed, drunk Jay. What's the... A bientôt, mon chéri. Mwah.
Who the fuck was that?
No one. Why aren't you at the palace?
I came back to focus on my work.
What about the Queen?
She doesn't understand me.
What did you do?
I painted what she wanted.
You never learn!
God, you stink.
Lise, you can't stay here.
Clearly.
I mean, you have to go back to Versailles.
Why?
I have a confession.
She's not the first?
Not that.
Then what?
We're in debt, Lisette.
We?
I wagered all of the earnings.
My earnings? You spent it? On the tables? Women or both? I thought it was going to your collection.
It was! For a while. You have to get paid, Lise, or the family will lose the apartment.
I'll find other work.
No. No one will pay as much as the Queen.
Oh my God! How much debt are we in?
Lisette reluctantly repaints Marie Antoinette en chemise, another boring portrait. But in her return, she finds some comfort in the Count. Exterior Dre's Chateau Gardens night. Lisette lays in Dre's lap. His fingers run through her hair.
What did you have in mind for your portrait?
Simple, really. Me, a chair, you. You're the magician.
Your friends say that you are l'enchanteur.
And do you know what they call you? La Fée, the fairy that touches everything and turns it into gold.
Bringing magic back to the world with this poor woman's hands. I think I belong up there.
I don't belong anywhere. My mother would have hated all of this, the snobbery, the pretension.
What was she like?
It's different on the islands. I wish you could see it. I would take you there someday.
I don't know if I could take crossing the sea by ship. It seems like an exhausting journey.
Then fly. You're a fairy after all. It's the palm trees. The way they would sound when the hurricane winds were coming. How they would carry her singing voice.
Did she ever come to France?
Once. They called her a Creole, a half-blood, a nobody. She couldn't take it, so she left me with my father when I was 9.
Did you ever see her again?
We make our own belongings with what we are given. And I know I belong here in this moment, with you.
And what about the future?
Yeah. I've learned thinking too far ahead only leads to heartbreak.
So, what is this to you?
A beautiful night with a beautiful woman. The most loved face in all of France. And what do you want this to be? You're the one who's married.
I want it all.
Exterior, Petit Trianon day. Lisette works on a landscape sketch by the river. Marie arrives on horseback. As she dismounts, she greets Lisette with an envelope sealed with wax.
I have a surprise for you.
What is this?
You'll see. This is what you wanted. It's your acceptance to the academy.
Did you make this happen?
I asked the king, and he was delighted to push it through for you. You deserve it.
Not like this.
What do you mean?
I wanted it to be my work.
Well, this never would have happened if you didn't have the talent.
No one, not even that self-righteous academy director, would dare turn down the king. Everyone knows the king himself would never defy his beloved queen. He sent soldiers to America to war for you.
Life doesn't work how you want it to work. Take the gift.
You don't understand.
What exactly don't I understand? What it's like to be unappreciated for your talents? What it's like to live in a world that would rather see you suffer than succeed? Tell me exactly how you want this world to be.
I want it to be fair.
You're such a child.
When you're the one who demands her every whim be catered to.
I use what I'm given, unlike you.
I want what I deserve. Nothing more, nothing less.
Take the gift. Or don't. I really don't care.
Marie jumps back on her horse and rides off. Interior, Dre's bedroom, night. Lisette lies in bed, sheets pulled up to her bare shoulders, staring at the ceiling, as Dre's arm drapes over her chest.
What's wrong, my fairy queen?
I didn't want it this way.
She got you what you deserved.
I didn't want to need her.
Well, that's how it works in Versailles. I've tried for years to land a higher position. They won't promote me beyond Royal Falconer.
Royal Falconer? You're the palace chief of birds.
Okay. It's a well-respected position.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I only got that because Lanny was in love with me. Briefly.
Did you?
My dear, We all do what we have to do to survive.
Lisette sighs she hates these rules. Lisette attends the reception for admission to the academy. The Queen doesn't show, and a rumour spreads that a man helps Lisette finish her impressive paintings. Interior Petit Trianon Salon Day. Lisette barges in, a newspaper in her hand. Lanny sits by the window in her favourite sunny spot, like a cat sipping the tea.
How dare you?
What's gone into you, fairy?
A well-connected palace insider says that Madame Lebrun enlists the help of a male artist in order to achieve the superlative technique seen in her academy submissions. The artist, if you can call her that, is said to provide payment for these services in less than scrupulous ways.
Typical rumor. You should be used to that by now.
Why do you hate me?
I admire you, honestly. Trying to survive here despite your lack of talent for politics? I'm better at playing the game.
This isn't a game to me. This is my life, my career, my legacy.
What do you think it is for me?
Lisette crumples a newspaper and throws it at Lanny's feet. Exterior Stables Day. Lisette wanders through the rows of horses, jumpy when one of them neighs and snorts loudly in her direction. At the stable's end, Marie pets the nose of one tenderly.
I thought I'd find you here. I wanted to thank you for your help. I was stupid. I didn't know how things worked. I do now.
It was refreshing, honestly. People here are always asking for one favor or another. To have one turned down was a new experience.
I often forget you're a queen. I feel we're friends. First.
We are. Always.
You're not in your riding gear.
I'm saying goodbye. For a bit.
What? Why?
I'm pregnant.
Marie has her child. Alas, a girl, no heir. The people's ire at her grows as famine grips the country. Meanwhile, Lisette stays busy as nobles clamour to be painted by the rising star. Vernet watches over her unfinished works, while Lisette enjoys the comforts of court life. Interior Lebrun apartment night. The modest apartment is draped with chemise. A dinner table is lit by candlelight and topped with clay jars, creating a Greek-style atmosphere. Guests dress in togas and olive branches. Lisette laughs as she pours more wine for herself from a clay jar and smiles at Dre. Etienne and Rosalie talk passionately at each other with their hands. They've all been drinking.
This must have cost a fortune.
It was nothing. I simply took the draping from my studio and created Mount Olympus.
This is why we need a revolution.
We must introduce reforms gradually. Peasants can't be expected
Is that
to
what you think of
Of
us?
course not, Etienne. The rules are different at
You don't
Versailles.
even see it, do you?
It's not black and white.
Tell that to the mothers who are dying to feed their children, to the men dying in the fields from overwork, while we do what? This.
Etienne, calm down.
We're calling on the king to give more power to Parliament.
Power cedes nothing to no one. You are all smart enough to know this.
Etienne, you may be right, little poet, but we have to try.
He takes his wine glass and moves to make a toast.
To my sister.
He stares at her as he turns his cup, pouring the red liquid over the white tablecloth.
I'm moving out, Lisette. I don't want your money. I don't want your friends. I don't want any of this.
As he leaves, the guests look to Lisette, who offers a fake smile and a cheers to keep up the revelry. Dre passes around a decadent chocolate dessert.
You just missed the cake.
Ooh, fun party.
Interior, Versailles, Queen's private chambers. Marie sits stiffly at her desk, very unlike her Trianon self.
You called?
How could you do this?
Do what?
This so-called Greek dinner? The court won't shut up about it.
You're mad I didn't invite you? I didn't think you would come.
I don't care about a party. People are talking, and it's not good for you or me.
About what?
How much it cost? How much I must be paying you? How wasteful the crown is?
It cost 15 francs.
It doesn't matter. You know better than anyone that perception is reality. In their minds, you spent hundreds of thousands of the crown's money.
But I didn't.
You have to be more careful. Out in the world, you represent me. Don't forget that.
How could I?
Interior Versailles, Queen's private chambers, moments later. Lanny enters with a ruthless smile.
So sorry I missed the party.
You weren't invited.
You're such a peasant girl sometimes. I was scared of you once. The way she looked at you. I wasn't about to give this up to some girl off the street. Now I know you're like the others. She'll forget about you too.
She needs me.
When you were an artist.
I still am.
You can't even see yourself.
Lanny eyes the golden bracelet on Lisette's wrist. Lisette's eyes follow.
People love my work.
I like your work well enough. You've created reality instead of portraying the one you're really in. You're exactly like me.
I'm nothing like you.
She stares down Lanny, but Lisette cringes at the similarities in how they look. Practically a mirror image. Interior Vernet's studio, day. Vernet overlooks the painting of Madame Grande, a blonde woman in a low-cut dress holding a book looking skywards. Lisette looks up from her stool for approval.
None of my colleagues have seen you at the Academy.
It was a waste of my time.
Your technique would benefit. These hands.
How am I supposed to learn in a place where no one wants me?
You know why I taught you when my colleagues thought I was crazy? You worked harder than anyone I've ever met, man or woman.
He points to a self-portrait of Lisette in a straw hat, holding a palette confidently.
Her. But what was it for? Money? Fame?
I wanted to be the best.
You could have been. But you let these distractions get in the way.
In Versailles, they value me.
For how long? What do you want to leave behind? What does she, the girl I met so many years ago?
Lisette examines her unfinished work. Portraits, landscapes, mythological works that would rival the best.
How do I remember?
Go back to the light. Look at the sky. Look at the sea. Look at the things that last.
She throws her canvas down and starts painting another. Lisette finds a new joy in painting the ambassador from India, but unhappiness in the streets continues to grow. The Bastille is stormed, weapons stolen, and men killed. The nobles know what's coming next, and Lanny and Ray escape the city in hopes of saving their heads. Interior Queen's bedroom, day. Marie lies on her favorite settee, staring blankly out the window. Lisette enters, shell-shocked.
They're gone.
Who?
Lanny. And Ray.
The nobles are so worried about this skirmish. The citizens protest all the time. This will pass.
Aren't you upset they left?
Lanny looks out for herself. Same with your fling.
It was more to me.
What did you expect? He's a noble. A broke one, but a noble all the same. He may have loved you, but he was never going to marry you.
I thought you were interested in changing that, but to you, I'm like those peasants.
You're not a peasant.
But I'm not your equal.
Did you believe you were? Where are you going?
I have to get back to work, something you might try for a change.
Interior Vernet's studio, day. Lisette, seething, works on a painting of Marie and her 4 children, almost complete. She carefully paints out the baby that was in the crib. Outside her window, she sees a woman in rags on the street, holding the hand of her daughter. At the painting, she fixates on the Queen's red velvet dress, her ornate feathered headdress, the children's silk clothing, the textured rugs. She sees it all as if for the first time. She turns to her old art, Vernet's landscapes, and breathes. She takes her brush and adds a detail in the upper right. Interior salon gallery night. The portrait of Marie and her children hangs in the gallery as the angry crowd fixates on the gold-leafed jewelry box. Interior Queen's bedroom night. Marie paces the room. Lisette moves to comfort her, but the Queen shrugs her off.
You knew what you were doing. I was painting what was there. You're just like the rest.
All you see are these jewels in this fucking gilded prison. You don't see me.
That's why I painted it, so you could see.
What am I to do? They don't listen to me.
You got me into the academy. You have influence over the king.
With my children and heir produced, my worth is nothing. I've served my purpose.
Children are dying.
So are mine. Or did you forget?
I'm sorry. Toinette.
Don't call me that.
What do you want me to call you then? Your fucking Majesty!
Get out. All I have ever had is my image, and you have destroyed it. I should have never trusted you.
I shouldn't have painted you in the first place.
You would be nothing without me.
I could have been a real painter. I should have been painting history. Instead, I just painted pretty pictures of you.
Don't congratulate yourself. They're not that pretty.
I feel sorry for you.
Well, you're the only one. I'll have your things packed. Enjoy your parties with the people.
Guards appear quickly, as if out of nowhere at the ready.
Guards, please escort Madame Lebrun to her carriage.
I can find my way on my own.
Lisette leaves without looking back. She returns home, but nothing is as it was. Jay doesn't want her back, and Vernet dies in her arms. Lisette realizes her work remains unfinished and moves to make amends. Interior Lebrun apartment night. The paintings by all the old masters are gone. The apartment looks empty, a lack of life.
Where are they?
Somewhere safe.
Good.
What do you need, Lisette?
Nothing.
That's a first.
I wanted to say I'm sorry. I haven't been the best business partner.
That's not exactly true. Do you know how much money you made us?
I never cared about the money.
You'll need it.
Jay,
I want you to be happy. That's all I've ever wanted.
I want that for you too.
Well, that's getting harder to do here. But you do have a client.
Why now?
A client is a client.
At her final session with that client, gunshots erupt. In her rush home, militiamen threaten her until Etienne, now a revolutionary himself, intervenes. Because of her association with the Queen, her life is in imminent danger. Interior Lebrun apartment night. Etienne draws with his fingers on a map spread across the dining room table.
Go to this gate. The rest will be blocked.
We'll ride with you until the gate Antoine.
And then?
Rome. I've talked to my contacts there. You'll be safe.
Come with me.
Your work. Someone has to keep an eye on it.
But what if they...
I'll be fine.
Take care of him, please. Take care of Mama.
Exterior Lebrun apartment night. Etienne and Jay escort Lisette to the carriage. Sitting outside the apartment, they load her things, canvases, paints, easel into the vehicle. She enters the carriage. Jay shuts the door. Interior carriage night. Lisette tries to sleep, but noises awake her. She sees a crowd of women marching in the opposite direction. Firelit torches are everywhere. Suddenly, the carriage stalls and starts shaking back and forth. It's being attacked. Exterior streets of Paris. Moments later, angry women rip open the carriage door, pulling Lisette out.
Mother! Fucks all day while we go hungry. Not anymore.
What do you want?
We want you to feel what it's like
to have nothing. We're gonna kill that queen slut and make you watch.
I don't know the queen.
Liar!
Please let me go.
She's a distraction. We are missing the match. You go away from here and never show your face again. Don't take a carriage, fool. Use the stagecoach if you want to leave.
The woman catches up with her friend, meeting up with the other women marching on Versailles. Lisette gets up, watching the march. She stands and looks to the shaken carriage driver. She meets the horse's eye, a reflection of fire in its glassy surface. Exterior streets of Paris night. Lisette rides the horse in her muslin dress, but instead of riding away from the crowd, she races with it, struggling with the spooked horse. Exterior Versailles night. Lisette arrives at the front gates of Versailles, beating the crowds. She tries to enter, but the guards stop her.
House entry is closed.
They're coming for her.
For who?
The queen, I must warn her.
Try tomorrow.
There isn't a tomorrow.
Get out! Get out!
Exterior Versailles veranda. Moments later, Lisette paces the veranda, looking in the windows. The palace is quiet. She tries the doors, locked. Lisette stops. She runs to the side of the palace. Exterior Versailles, secret staircase. Moments later, she hoists her dress up as she sprints up the circular stairs. At the door, she pushes it open. Interior Versailles, Queen's private chambers, night. Lisette bursts into the Queen's room and shakes her awake.
Marie, get up. We have to go.
What? Why are you here?
They're coming. Where are the children?
Next door?
We don't have time.
Marie runs to the window. The glow of fire can be seen in the far distance. Lisette bundles valuables into a bedsheet.
What are you doing?
We'll go to Geneva, Rome, Vienna. We can figure out what's next.
I'm not going.
You have to. You will die. They will kill your children.
They're not my children. They belong to France.
They don't. These people want to destroy the crown and destroy you most of all.
I've spent my entire life running from them. I'm tired, Lisa. If they want me, they can have me.
This is exactly like you, ignoring the world around you until the end.
I understand the world better now than I ever have. As it is, not as I want it to be. You were my best mirror. You showed me who I could be. More than a woman, more than a mother, more than a queen. Me. It's time I lived up to that.
I don't want to lose you.
You'll never lose me. Turn me into a goddess. And gods can never die, remember? You have to keep creating.
I won't leave you.
You must. You don't belong here. You belong to the world.
Rosalie enters with the children, holding their hands.
Children, come here. It's time to be very brave, my darling. We will live on. Help us do that.
Lisette looks one last time at Marie, who stands at the window, a child on either side of her. She follows Rosalie. Lisette escapes, first to Switzerland, then Rome. As for Marie, well, you know how that story ends. But Lisette defends her friend's reputation for life. Interior, Rome Art Studio day. The bright sun filters into a simple studio space. Lisette sits at a canvas. She looks out the window to the Trevi fountain, a marble Poseidon presiding over the court of peasants who stop, some of who throw in a single coin. In voiceover we hear,
In painting, light and dark is all there is. The sun on her face, the shadow of her hat, what the world sees, and what it can't.
She looks down to her visibly pregnant belly. Brush in hand, Lisette adds color to a self-portrait. The figure smiles at the viewer and paints a faded, ghost-like image of the queen. Elizabeth Vigée Lebrun continued painting European nobility for decades. She was hired by Catherine the Great to paint her granddaughters and many others in the Russian court. Her daughter, Julie, married and stayed in Russia. Vigée Lebrun painted 600 portraits and 200 landscapes. She lived to be 86 years old. She had her first ever solo retrospective as an artist in 2015, 173 years after her death.